Once again, the Mike Romiski Show here with Mr. Nathan Betts and recovering from electronical snafu.
Just having a bit of a meltdown inside of my own brain, not figuring out what the hell I did wrong.
It's a snafu.
I got it. I got it now.
Yes, it's all under control. And you are here with us again, which means
Take two.
Still looking for work. And
yeah.
We're blowing off time here talking to you. Whoa.
Yeah, that was important. I forgot to turn that on.
And, yeah. Anyways, it's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Valentine's Day. So, if you hear this and this is a reminder to you that it's Valentine's Day, you missed it.
You really missed it because this isn't coming out till Tuesday, bro.
Probably the reason your girlfriend hasn't called you in 4 or 5 days.
That or the lack of work.
Yes, that could be it as well. Anyways, we're back here with you, and you're going to waste about an hour of your time yet again.
Absolutely.
Because you were willing to let us do that.
Yep. We'll waste your time, you can spend your time poorly with us.
Yes, you can. And I'd like to just take a minute to say that normally we throw something at you that's this day in history, this happened, that happened, and... well, being it's Valentine's Day, that one was good enough for us.
Sure.
But we'd also like to say that this week we bid a fond farewell to, I guess it's Mrs. Was it Miss or Mrs.?
I think it was Mrs.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Probably, arguably, one of the first successful child actresses.
And she didn't have, surprise, she didn't have a public meltdown like Miley Cyrus or... Amanda Bynes or any of these other ones that had huge Lindsay Lohan.
Well,
these.
Yeah, if she did, we weren't aware of it.
Well, she also retired from acting at the age of 22, and also shared. And no one will be able to take this from her or him, but she shared the first on-screen kiss with Ronald Reagan. I did not know that until just recently.
Which is amazing. Wasn't she also an envoy in Africa or something?
She was some sort of diplomat in the UN or something like that, I believe.
Anyways, a long, illustrious career.
Yeah.
I'm sure that she did well in just about everything she did by the exposure that I had via the screen.
Yeah.
To her.
This is her singing, and she's by far still to this day I don't think we've had a cuter child actor. She's adorable.
What always amazed,
look at that face.
Yeah, what always amazed me is look how young she is, but yet how boom out there she is. It's like she had a complete understanding of what she was trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Which for a child, that's, come on.
Yeah, look, she's got look at those facial expressions and everything she's got going on. She's just, and honestly, there's pageants and there's whatnot going on now that basically are turning 5 and 6 year olds, which I'm assuming she's about 5 or 6 right here. They're turning 5 and 6 year olds into adults, but this is a long time ago, and this just is unheard of to have a child this talented.
I also heard somewhere that she was one of the ones contested with Judy Garland for Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they ended up not going with her for one reason or another.
That's interesting.
I'm sure there's dozens and dozens of more little factoids that you could probably come up with. But nevertheless, she ended a long and successful life this week.
Yeah.
And we bid her a fond farewell and fair winds.
Yeah.
And,
on to her next adventure.
Yep. Thank her for the contributions that she made.
Hopefully she has a cute head of her curly hair in her next lifetime as well. And like as you can see in this clip that we're playing in the background here, there's probably 15, if not 20, maybe 25 other children in this room. Do you think that there was any of them in that room that could do anything that she's doing right now?
I'm sure they probably told them, here's what you want to do. You want to turn your heads around and watch her and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, don't you say a word.
Yeah, just and don't get up, and I don't care if you got to pee. Just wait.
Yeah. So
how long do you think it took them to get this whole fork and knife drumming thing down on the table, man?
I would say the better part of 4 to 5 months. I don't know.
But I don't know. Is this a Metro Goldwyn Mayer?
I believe it probably was, yeah.
Likely, I would guess. They had the money and the time to do it, so.
But yeah, she's she's just one of those enigmas of nature that you know, once in a lifetime type of situations. So I mean,
amazing.
She could sing, she could dance. Back and watch it, yeah, it really kind of does.
Oh,
here
party's
comes
over.
The parents are coming. Great.
Dude.
Oh my goodness.
Singing in the dining room. Madam, is this the kind of manners you teach them?
Why, of course not, Mr. Wyckoff. They've been told they must always be quiet at mealtime.
Oh, they've been told, have they? Well, just telling them doesn't seem to be good enough.
Yes,
perhaps
you gotta
a bit
beat
of
them.
real discipline wouldn't do them any harm.
Ooh.
Fetch me a switch.
Yeah, what a dick.
Hand me the little one.
Yeah, I'll take her out back with me. Sir, you're not allowed to do that. I mean, I've got to... Somebody save me from myself. That's not what I meant.
How much for the little girl?
Yeah. No, that's not what... I mean, how much... Oh, this is not going well.
I'm just going to leave. Anyways, yep.
I said good day, sir.
That story has come to its conclusion.
Yeah.
And anyways, what's been going on with you this week there, Nate?
A lot of moving details. I just went and signed, had my insurance guy tell me that he needed about a half hour of my time. Turned out it'd be about an hour and 15 minutes of my time. Made Mike wait for Super China Day, which is not a good idea because we wait way too long to eat usually. And
make no mistake, I didn't wait.
Oh yeah. So
I went and sat down, waited about 5 minutes, and went, I'm gonna go fill a plate.
Yep. So been filling out paperwork and more paperwork and making phone calls and
you know what's funny is I walk in there and the gal walks up. Only one?
Yeah.
I says, no, there'll be two of us. Oh, you know, it's like, it's a relief.
Yeah.
And she brings her,
thank goodness.
Gives me the table. Oh, you want water? I said, yeah, water was fine with me. Two? Yeah,
probably.
You might as well go ahead and bring two.
Yeah.
Well, this was at the point where I figured you were probably on my heels,
right on the way.
4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes later, I noticed all the ice had melted.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, all my ice was watered down. So,
and it was funny. She comes up after a while. We a friend.
Yeah.
You waiting on someone? I think she felt sorry for me, like I had been stood up on a date or something. You know.
Yeah, I stood you up. So I'm trying to desperately get this all put together so that you can see it. These are my notes. I got. These are all things. This is my to-do list. These are all things that I've got to do before I can get out of here. So every day something else comes up. I'm like, I got to start another freaking list of things I got to go down the checklist, make sure I get everything done.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you ever completed a list? I mean, have you ever woke up one morning and went, there's nothing I need to do?
I am looking forward to the day where this in particular, this is the list of everything that has to be done to get to the new house and have everything be finished. So I'm looking forward to the day that this particular list gets done, but as soon as this list has all check marks by it, there'll just be a new list.
Yeah, it scrolls.
Yeah. So
it's just a matter of keeping a lid on the things that are important on the list.
Yes.
And by important, I mean the things that the old lady won't jump your shit for.
Right. So
that's how we gauge important.
Yeah, absolutely. So to answer your question honestly, no, I've never completed a list, but I am looking forward to completing this particular list because this one will mean that the official move has been completed. So, and as you can see, there's no check marks by any of those just yet. So
I think throughout my lifetime, probably I could count less than the fingers on one hand the times I have found myself with absolutely nothing to do, and I actually found it frightening, because it's like, what do I do?
Yeah, what am I gonna do with myself?
I'm not prepared for this contingency. I should be making excuses,
Yeah.
or getting out tools or doing something. And
So you're telling me there's
confused.
nothing I need to accomplish today?
Nothing.
F. So you know what you end up doing? Well, I guess I can stare at this wall for a few minutes and...
That's why I bought a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Back a little bit. There, I saw a funny commercial for the new iPhone, and I thought,
Is it the long one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I'd run this by you. I love this. This is so funny.
Did the scrolling thing bring
Yeah.
that to mind?
Yeah.
I'm Tim Cook.
Yeah.
And me being the CEO of Apple and an iPhone user myself, I know what you're thinking. This is the same we've seen over, and over again. But to prove you wrong, here's some random guy we picked off the street with a British accent to introduce our new line of iPhones.
Here at Apple, we've come to the realization that our
I don't know if this is the right one.
absolutely nothing from us.
I don't know that
Which
I've
is
seen
why
this one.
Yeah,
we
this isn't the
decided
one.
To make no changes whatsoever.
Thank you for every freaking time, YouTube. Every time I try to look something up, I think I have the right one. It's not what I thought it was.
I enjoyed the other one that I was talking about. I enjoyed the whole lightsaber app
Yeah.
thing, and that's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing I really found amusing.
Thank you. This is the one I meant to play.
We don't want to just change your phone. We
Yeah,
want to make
this
you
is the
say, wow, that is a bigger change than I expected. iPhone 5 is a result of that desire to surprise.
It's been completely redesigned. For the first time ever, we've increased the size of the display. By making the screen taller but not wider, you can see more of your content without the need to scroll. We're making scrolling a thing of the past.
This is so
iPhone 5 is more
ridiculous.
comfortable
My
to
favorite
use
part's when he
and
tries to
reduces
put it in his
scrolling speed while
pocket.
reading long documents.
Even with the larger display, iPhone 5 is the thinnest iPhone we've ever built. To achieve a design this tall, we had to look at a complete redesign of the internal architecture. It's 18% thinner and 795% taller than the previous iPhone.
It makes everything you do on iPhone 5
That would be
feel
nice.
That would be sweet.
and just a move
honestly.
of your arm away. No more hidden menus, no confusing gestures. Everything is right at your fingertips.
The panorama feature is simply awesome. The Ultra HD widescreen display lets you get your entire shot in a single snap. You can also use your iPhone 5's innovative design for image stabilization.
With an iPhone this tall, reception has never been better. You'll enjoy crystal clear clarity on even the longest calls. And of course, all your favorite apps are still available. In fact, you'll find your old favorites also benefit from the new experience-enhancing Ultra HD widescreen. We found that while many previous iPhone owners were using FaceTime, they weren't using it for their faces. That's why we're introducing Body Time. Using
Yeah.
iPhone 5's Ultra HD widescreen display, Body Time lets you see a person's entire body, allowing you to detect mannerisms and defects like never before.
Yeah,
We looked
mannerisms
way
and
beyond what we
defects.
saw as expected. It took all of our learning, all of our thinking, to realize something so simple, so clear, and yet so tall.
iPhone 5. The tallest thing to happen to iPhone since iPhone.
Mine's short.
Yeah. Talk about giving you an inferiority complex with that one.
I got a short phone.
What is that thing, like, I don't know, 28 inches long or whatever?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Dude's shoving it down his pants. It just keeps on going to where he can't even bend his leg anymore. Hobbling down the street. It cracks me up.
Man.
What were we even talking about? We didn't get on here to talk about that.
No, I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, checklists. I don't have mine,
Yeah.
my current ones or my future ones.
And finding ourselves without them.
Yeah. So I have an entire checklist of stuff that has to be switched, turned off, or transferred, or whatever.
It's like, I can't die, man. I've got things to do.
I've got stuff I gotta go do. Honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why I was talking about this with my dad. He said he doesn't want to be one of those guys that retires. He's like, retiring scares the crap out of me because I know dudes that retire and they plop themselves down in front of the couch and they wither up and die in 2 years because they decided they've accomplished everything. He's like, I got stuff I need to go do still. I got to be busy.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to retire either. I
Yep.
just, you know, and I think there's a lot of people like that, and it's somewhere in between working and retiring where you want to be. In other words, you want to work at what you want to do.
Yeah, doing stuff that you
not
enjoy.
what other people want to pay you to do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and I'm kind of embroiled in that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Completely happy with it and all that. Things are growing, getting bigger, and pretty much happening on schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would be lying if I didn't say that it scares the crap out of me, because as is evidence from about 2 weeks ago, stuff can come rolling down the hill all at one time.
Man, oh man,
and it's like, oh my God.
So it's coming at me so fast.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the way life is. You know, things don't space and give you time. You know, you're the one that has to adjust to that. And if you just get it in your head that, you know, we'll call this a motivational feature of life.
Yeah.
You know, now you've got a whole bunch to do in a short amount of time. Well, that's what you got to adjust for. And if you're not willing to adjust, then you're not willing to make it. You know, that's one of the things that you got to be willing to do.
Right.
You know, accommodate what the workload is when it rolls off the hill at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not, well, no, I don't want to do that right now.
I
oh,
always.
And I guess you don't want that paycheck.
Yeah, exactly. Now, do you ever find this where you've got this, and this. You've got like three things that are completely separate from each other that are all of equal importance, and then you're sitting there trying to determine which one's most important to try and tackle first, because all three of them kind of need to be done at the same time. So you're like, oh, if I work on this one for about 3 hours, that'll leave me about 2 hours to go work on that one, get that at least started, and then I can finish that tomorrow. And like, do you ever find yourself juggling between most important and other most important?
Not really. Usually I just jump in and start something because in my head I'm thinking I'm wasting time trying to figure out what to start. Right. It could be this the time could be used productively, and I could be thinking about that as I'm doing something.
Right. That's usually kind of what I end up doing as well. Is I start something and then think about, okay, now I can do whatever I've just started. I can work on this for about an hour, but I really should also at least get that started tonight as well. Like, for instance, I've got 2 shop orders going on right now. I've got podcasting things that need to be posted. I've got website stuff for the shop that need to be worked on, and then I have website stuff for the podcast network that all needs to be finished. And like, all of it needs to be happening yesterday, but I'm like, okay, which one is the most important? Well, obviously I need to get paid, so I need to work out in the shop. If I come in and I dust myself off and I have 45 minutes before bedtime, I'll come downstairs and I'll work on a podcast and get a podcast posted. If there's still a little bit of time left after that, I'll work on a little bit of website stuff. So I'm constantly trying to like perpetually get out from behind the 8 ball. So
I have found, and tell me if this ever happens to you, ideas trump everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be out there working on something. It could be something important, man. I'm out there just working away on it, and something will occur to me that I find to be a good idea. My hands do this.
Funk,
just like
gotta go.
Just like a union guy at noon, dude. Everything just stops right where it is, and I walk away and I go to work on what this idea is, because I'm scared to death I'm going to lose a thought.
Yeah, yep.
You know, and then when it's done and I get back to what I was doing, it's like, where did I leave off?
Where was I? Yeah. Or this happens to me. You get the idea and you immediately get on your phone. Do this in an hour. Set timer. You know, that kind of a thing.
See, I never do that because I never hear the timer.
Yeah.
And at night I'll lay back and I'll pick my phone up to see it, send emails or something. Oh shit!
Damn it! Yeah, I missed something. Yeah, there's that. I've actually gotten back up out of bed to if it's something kind of small. I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to do something. It's only going to take me 20 minutes. Okay, pull a shirt back on. Come tromping down here. Usually something down here in the podcast room or something.
Now, for those that don't know, I have an air compressor that is quite loud. And talk about getting out of bed, man. Now, this thing consumes a lot of power,
sure.
You know, so you don't want to just leave it run.
Right.
But I mean, more times than I can remember, I am deadbeat tired. I go up, I lay down, I'm undressed, I'm in bed, and all of a sudden I hear, bah!
It's really loud too.
It's like, oh no.
And you're sitting there thinking in your head, how many...
Back out of bed.
Yeah, how many neighbors did I just make poop themselves?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm in pajamas and night shoes and stuff, and it's like it's snowing. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not getting dressed. I'm, so out to the shop and throw it off, back through the sawdust, back out through the snow. Now you're not sleepy anymore.
Right, because the cold air has touched parts of your body you didn't want it or shouldn't have touched, and now
things have retracted.
Yeah, now you're wide awake.
And it's like, maybe I'll make a snack or something. I'll watch a little TV. Then you turn something on TV that's incredibly interesting.
Of course.
So now you have
every
to
time
and watch this because this might. You
might change your life.
Yeah,
you might never see this again.
Now it's 12:30, and you got to be up at 4.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks, air compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
The shop gets so noisy that if I were to set a reminder to turn the air compressor off, I'd never hear it.
Right. It almost gets to the point where you need like a checklist before bed. Did you this on or off? Is this on or off? Was this email sent, or was this website checked, or was this blah? It's 0 degrees outside. Did you bring the glue in with you so it's not frozen when you go to glue something tomorrow?
What I need is a master switch.
Yeah.
That just turns everything
off or on.
Everything outside of the house is now off.
Yeah. Yeah, and everything that's been turned off that needs on is now on. Yeah, exactly.
I think that would work.
Yeah. Actually, what needs to happen is you need a master switch that you can flip if you remember, or if by X time that it hasn't been manually functioned, then it just does it for you. Because there's a good chance that you'll forget to do the one thing that will do it all.
Did I tell you about my little wiring debacle the other day? I'm sitting in there. You know how it gets, man. You're working intently on something for hours. And,
sure.
And in the paint shop, there's all these smells and things, so you don't really pay attention.
And it's a time warp in there, too.
It's like, there's concentration and a sudden moment of realization. It's like, that's electrical.
Yeah, something smells hot.
So it's like, turn everything off, and I'm looking around all the sockets and stuff, trying to figure out where the smell is coming, because it's obviously electrical.
Sure.
So I look up, and in the main junction box, there's smoke coming out of the thing.
Crap.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. I didn't put that there.
What it ended up being is one of the wire nuts was loose a little bit.
Oh, and it started to arc a little bit.
All I had to do is put a new wire nut on it, cinch down.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I didn't know that. So it was like, do I need to go hit breaker boxes and stuff, or
do I need to go grab some sawdust or something?
So I get up on the little ladder there, and I'm trying to spread wires, and there's sparks fly in and stuff, and. It only took a few minutes to come to the realization of what the issue. It's got me.
It's on me, bro.
It's on me. What the issue actually was, but I mean, there's about a 5-minute period where
you weren't quite sure what was happening.
I really don't want to burn everything down.
Yeah.
I got a lot of time and money invested in this place.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was an interesting little run there.
Does this happen to you? When you smell something that's not quite right, as if it's your car or in your house or whatever, you're like, nope, that's not it. That can't be what I think it is. Worst case scenario just flashed in my head. It is definitely not that. There's no fuck, I gotta go check out what that is. I have to go find out.
What does nuclear waste smell like?
Every time I smell like burning brakes, or I smell someone burning their clutch or whatever, I'm like, man, something smells wrong with it. Is it my car? No, it's got to be the car in front of me. It's definitely the car in front of me. No way that's me.
My wife is good at that, at identifying smells that aren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And mainly in a car. Mm-hmm. Not only smells, but sounds. Mm. And she used to drive me nuts with it when we were on the road trucking, because she would hear things that I didn't hear. And she was usually right, and I was the guy go, don't worry about it. You know, until all of a sudden, told you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I should listen to you. And once again, identifying smells and things like that. So if we were ever to split up or something was to happen to her or something like that, I don't know how I'd get by.
Yeah,
they'd probably find my burnt carcass in a car or some ditch somewhere because I didn't pay attention to the smell.
And a half-sent text message saying, "I should have."
Yeah. and as her spouse, I should say, it's a good thing you do this, but that's not what we do.
Of course not.
People.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
man, would you leave me alone?
You're costing me an arm and a leg here. You're killing me, Smalls.
Man, I'm fighting this thing today.
You all right?
It's got me. Yeah, but it's incredible. We don't say, thanks for alerting me to that.
Right.
It's like, yeah, come on, I got enough to worry about without you,
You jab him instead of, pat him on the back and say thanks.
Be fine.
Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah. Honey, do you have any baking soda?
Where's that fire extinguisher that we got? I told you to put that in the car yesterday.
I told you that it needed refilled a month ago. Damn it.
Okay, hold on tight. What are you doing? I'm driving to the creek.
Yeah. We're going to make this look like an accident. I'm going to slam on the brakes. Hold on, and here we go.
We have a choice, fire or water damage. You call it in the air.
Yeah. We'll see where this lies. Yeah. No, I didn't mean the car in the air. I meant the decision. Oh, well, this is gonna end well.
Oh, man.
What's on your mind this week, buddy? We usually ask you what one of your pet peeves of the week or what's going on with you.
Oh, most of my pet peeves all involve people running the show up there and stuff, and you know what? It's all pretty much the same old damn stuff.
Yeah.
And
do you hear about the basically the plan to salvage what's going wrong in the country is to just spend more, and instead of Republicans standing up and saying, "Hey, that's a bad idea," everybody's just like, "All right, we surrender. You can do whatever you want."
It's like, it's the government, it's the schools, it's police departments, it's everything. Rather than people improving their performance on the job and doing things because they want to do it, the solution is to throw more money at it.
Yeah.
Well, when you throw more money at it, the money just gets spent in other places. It always has, it always will. I don't know that there's an answer for that.
Well, I do know that going 21 trillion effing dollars into debt is not a good answer.
Oh, I'm by no means condoning that. I mean, you already know my position on that.
That's ridiculous.
But I'm in such a flabbergasted state, and one of the things that I do find that I see is starting to take trend is we're within a year of the election now.
Yep.
Midterms, so everybody's kind of just stopping what they're doing and focusing on their campaign. It's all this and none of this, which is fine with me.
Yeah,
just there is no better government than one that doesn't do a damn thing.
That would be, honestly, at this point, that would be more helpful than anything.
They're going to continue the drain. I was excited to hear earlier, I think it was like a Monday, that we have reached our debt ceiling. You remember the one that they weren't going to reach?
Right, of course.
Well, we've reached our debt ceiling, and they turned around and raised it again.
Yep, big shocker.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's more jobs lost than projected, and although they want to paint bright pink rosy picture of everything, it's gradually getting worse.
Right. Well, okay, so here's a logical person that has two brain cells to rub together. A high schooler could come up with this question and probably solve the question as well, but for some reason these idiots can't figure out any, and this isn't one-sided. I'm pointing my finger at the whole lot of them, honestly. But so you set yourself a debt ceiling, and we say, here's a line in the sand. We cannot by any means go past this. Smash cut to 2 years later. We're going, okay, we said this 2 years ago. We can't go past, okay, for realsies this time.
No, I mean it.
For reals, we can't go past 21 million. We said 18 for reals. We can't go past 21 trillion. Like, it's such a theoretical sounding number at this point. It sounds made up. It sounds like a gajillion. Honestly, $21 trillion and $5 gajillion. Honestly, it's the same amount of money to me. There's no difference to me.
What's laughable is it's a fiat currency, and they make more of it.
Yeah. Well,
it's not like they're literally running out, but it's like how much more of it can.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, and then they said, well, we got a new Treasury Secretary or something here, and they said, well, we're going to maintain the status of the low interest rates that the last one did, which Wall Street was glad to hear. But as the market continually gets flooded with more and more money, how and at what point is inflation, not just inflation, but hyperinflation, going to kick in?
Yeah,
it has to.
Yeah.
It has to.
So
unless they start burning it by the bales right away.
According to tradingeconomics.com, the GDP of the United States, we are only worth $15.6 trillion.
That it?
That's all we're worth. And we're at a debt. We're basically at the point now where we're so far in debt that we will never catch up with it.
Can you think of anything that you can use as an example visually that would represent a trillion?
I do know
maybe pebbles of sand on the beach, or
maybe. I do know that recently H&R Block just has been doing this campaign called Get Your Billion Back America, where in 2012 over $1 billion of deductions were overlooked and not taken. And they did this thing where they're kind of trying to show you what $1 billion looks like. And according to this commercial, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, or if it's just I would hope that it's accurate, but they are saying there's this dude walking around a football stadium, and he's taking bundles of $500 and setting them on each seat in the stadium, and he's got one of those things, and he looks like the peanut hawker, and he's like, to get to $1 billion, this dude not only would have to put $500 on every seat in this stadium, but in every stadium in the United States. Also, they had the aircraft carrier, which is pretty substantial.
And that's $1 billion?
$1 billion.
And we're talking trillions, which is a billion, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're how many trillion under?
I believe the last I heard was 19. So we have, $1 billion in, I don't know what the current or what the denomination was. I'm assuming it was in $100 bills, but $1 billion took the deck of an aircraft carrier. It was probably like 1/4 of the deck of aircraft carriers in big crates. So to get $1 trillion, I'm assuming that would take 6, 8 aircraft carriers, the entire deck.
Boggles the mind.
Yeah. Something that's literally just it's a cartoonish figure to illustrate it.
And here's a fun part. That's your money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was, like everybody, every good citizen does. I was handing in my tax information to the accountant. I did mine
pretty soon too, or just the other day too.
And there was a young couple in there in front of me, and she was handing them their paperwork back, their return, and she was excited that she was getting like $650 back. And she says, well, it's kind of nice getting something back, isn't it? And she goes, oh my God, it's a wonderful savings account.
What?
And it was just running through my head. I'm going, so you gave them what added up to
$4,000 probably
of dollars. They took 96% of it and gave you a little pittance back of it, and you're happy.
Yeah. Oh, and also, by the way...
And then it rolls across the news, the frivolous things that they spent it on.
Yeah. By the way, they took out basically they're taking out a loan from us until next year, every year, at a 0% interest rate. Thanks. Yeah. And we're supposed to be happy about it.
So what if you took that $4,000 and put it in, a year CD or something like that, and took a modest 4% or something to that effect, if you can even find it these days.
Yeah. You put it in like a Roth IRA and get like 12% on it.
And at the end of the year, you pay whatever amount you're due, and then you take the residual that you've left that you didn't owe and the interest, and then roll it over. where would you be if you did that over the period of a lifetime?
Yeah. I've had it.
But if you look at it over a period of a lifetime, they've got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not you. That's your money. They've got it. So not only do they get the tax money they took from you, but they've got the interest. They've got the investment value.
Yeah,
on and on and
they've
on.
got it. Yeah,
not you.
It's all stacked into their favor.
And then they give you this little purse full of change back.
A couple of coins, basically. Yay! Oh, thank God.
We're going to go to the movies and have dinner at Red Lobster.
Yeah, okay.
How exciting for you.
How about how about you just keep all of your money and we do I don't know. It's ridiculous. I actually had I listened to a guy, a lot of people are aware of him, some people aren't. I listened to a guy almost every day named Dave Ramsey, and he was illustrating to a caller the other day. He's like, I'm trying to get my wife on board about not having this car payment thing. I understand it. I've read your book. I understand how it works and everything, but I just can't get my wife to get on board with this. He goes, okay, well, how much is the car worth? He said, it's worth about $25,000. He said, what's your annual income? He's like, well, about 120. He's like, okay, well, your income to amount ratio isn't off. It's still a lot of car, but your ratios aren't bad. But he said, just tell her this. He said, how old is she? And he said, she's almost to turn 41. He said, okay, what's her payment? He said, it's about $370. He said, okay. You hear him click. He said, okay, if you were to take that $370 and put it into a growth stock mutual fund that yields an average of 12% over the life of its investment, take that for 30 years from the time that she's 70 or until she's from the time she's 40 until she's 70, retirement age of 70, and she didn't touch it and only put that car payment amount into the growth stock mutual fund, she will come out with $2 million. She'll be a double millionaire just in a car payment alone over the course of 30 years. He's like, that ought to do it. Thanks, bye. So
why don't people think in these terms?
Because that's how you watch the television.
They got you buffaloed, man.
Yeah.
They got you in the zone where they want you to think.
Yeah.
You know? It's like when you watch the news. They don't tell you the news. They tell you what happened and what you should think of.
Right. And just in the same exact way, instead of telling you this is a wise way to use your money, instead they're like, well, if you go and you borrow this money and you only have to give them $300 a month and you put nothing down on the thing and you do all of these things, well, I mean, you're only out this money for 5 years and then you have this entire car. Well, if you really think about it and do the math on it, you pretty much gave that car company or that bank or whatever, you pretty much gave them like something ridiculous like $12,000 to $14,000 over the price of that car over the course of a 5-year loan. And that's just the culture that we're in. We're sold and we hook line.
Not only that, your car's not worth the same thing in 5 years.
It is definitely not. And hook, line, and sinker, we all just are like, okay, that's where do I sign? Nobody ever asks, what does it cost? They just say, how much a month and how much down. Nobody actually asks, what does this cost me? Wholesale, what am I going to pay for this? And I did the same thing. I went out and got a loan for an older, luckily it was an older car. I'm about to pay the thing off. I'm never going to borrow money ever again in my life. But you will just watch the television and you will be told how to use your money. And every single one of them is in the favor of the person that's trying to loan you the money, because it's all debt based. There's not a single product that you see on the television that's trying to help you. They try to help you with 1% back and all that crap. There's nothing that's trying to be force fed down your throat on the television that isn't screwing you somewhere or another.
Yeah.
Cars, banks.
Like me, I just bought a new Subaru, man, for $21,000, man. But we're in a consumer-based society now. Like, for instance, my wife's getting ready to go to school, right? The old Subaru, I kept that doggone thing for almost 10 years. You know? And I'm looking at this car, and I'm going,
it's close to falling apart.
Man, when this thing goes, it's going to be expensive to fix. And the car guy goes, yeah, you're going to spend $3,000 putting a new engine in it, and you're still going to have a $3,000 car.
Basically, you're going to have the price of this engine on the road.
Gas mileage was going down. That was costing me. Needed tires. That was going to cost me. So you got to weigh good against evil, right? And okay, I want my wife safe. I want to save some money on gas. I want something dependable.
Sure.
I don't have $21,000 in my pocket.
Right.
So what do?
Yeah.
You go down and you do the best you can.
Yeah.
Because that's survival. That's like living out in the desert without a horse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To ride the town in and stuff like that. So because we're so consumer-based and spread out, you have to do these things.
Yeah.
To survive. We know that. What we don't have to do is buy a big old Cadillac.
Right, with all the bells and whistles and dingers. And
I could have bought the $46,000 car.
Absolutely.
Went, sure is a nice car.
Sure.
But no, what I did was I got the all-wheel drive one that she can get through the snow and ice with. I got the one with the good gas, bomb down the line. Sure. But if someone can save up that money and go write a check for a new car, man, my hat's off to them.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that, like, if you could, so basically what you could do is you get to a point where you get a car that you figure out a way to get a cheap car that will last you for 5 years and pay. And so since you paid for that car in cash, you pay yourself. You're going to be paying a car payment anyway. So you pay yourself the car payment. And then at the end of 5 years, you've got a wad of cash. And then you go, I'm going to go trade this car in. Put it down on top of what I've got. And so say I was able to save up $6,000, sell my beater for $2,000. I can go get $8,000 worth of car, drive that for 5 years, pay myself a car payment for 5 years, and then trade that one in and put on top of that. And pretty soon I'll have a $12,000
keep myself
car.
on something dependable.
Basically keep on rolling the thing over. And I think that from now on, once the Jeep is paid for, which we plan on having that paid off by June, since we had a pretty decent tax return, we only owe $4,000 on this. That's my plan from now on. I'm going to pay myself the car payment instead of paying it to a bank, because if I miss a payment, oh well, I guess I just have to wait a little bit longer for the car.
Yeah.
Pay myself the payment, and I'll just get myself a cheaper, hopefully dependable car, and that's the way. So I mean, it's doable, but we're all. If you just sit down, and I always think of it this way, like if an alien race was to come down and learn everything that they were supposed to learn about our society based off of what they are given on the television, they're going to be like, well, this is one effed up society. What the, like, beauty is downgraded and worshipped at the same time. Money is downgraded and completely used incorrectly and worshipped all at the same time. Like, they would be so confused. No one would know how to act. And so then you go, and there's only a limited amount of things that you're taught as a burgeoning adult coming out of high school. I wasn't taught a single thing about how to balance a checkbook. I wasn't taught a single thing about finances at all coming out of high school. The only thing I knew was that, boy howdy, don't bounce a check. That was the only thing I knew. I was not taught anything. But what if we were to start teaching our young people, hey, this is how you balance a checkbook. This is how to not go into debt. This is how to do these things. And then just start training everybody to just kind of not rely on debt as a way of life.
See, when I went to high school, they did do that.
I didn't get it.
It was called home economics.
Yeah, not a word of that was breathed in.
They taught you how to write checks, how to consider interest rates. Back when they would literally give you interest on your money when you saved it.
Right.
And all this kind of how to budget for food and clothing and down the line. Yeah, that was a course.
Yeah, that's not anymore.
Fact, I think it was kind of required if you were
a
female.
I think it should be required for everybody. Everybody should know how this works.
When I was growing up, most households, at least that I was exposed to, the old man would come home with the paycheck, right? He would sit down, and he would go, I need this amount of money to put in my car for gas to go, because he was the only one working.
Yep.
To go for work, pay for the car. You know what? I need this and I need this and I need this, and the remainder went to the wife.
And she figured out the rest.
She would sit down and go, okay, out of this I can get these groceries. Johnny needs pants. Sally needs shoes. But she, and this is the thing that's going to really blow people away today.
Yeah.
she would consider things like knitting yarn and thread and needles.
Right. Making things to save. Yeah.
And repairing. It was nothing for us to go to school with patches on our jeans.
Sure. I went to school with patches on jeans.
And the price of a pair of jeans would get you some groceries. You know?
Like for an entire week.
And I used to always joke, my mom could feed a family on 2 rocks and a stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you would come in and there would be every day there would be a table full of food for dinner. And now that I look back on it, I'm going, man, she was working with some bare bones stuff, but she was a good cook. She knew how to do it and how to make it good.
I would say out of the people that I know that are my age, me and Amy, I think, out of my immediate friends that are my age, I think me and Amy are the only ones that cook, like regularly. A lot of my friends all go out to eat still, or do TV dinners or something.
It wasn't long ago.
Some waste of money.
I can't remember who it was I was talking to, and they go, "Well, what's your wife making for dinner?" And I go, "Well, my wife don't make anything for dinner. I do the cooking in the house." Well, woman's supposed to do that.
I enjoy it. I do.
I went. So you're trying to tell me that it's like unmanly that I know how to take care of myself,
right,
and cook the things that I like. As a benefit, we eat what I want.
Right. Exactly. And you know
and
that
it's prepared the way I like
and
it.
Yeah, and you know for a fact that there's never going to be a day that goes by where you're not going to be like, "Ooh,
have you
push
looked
that
around
away."
yourself at all and noticed that the greatest chefs in the world are all men?
Dudes? Yeah. A lot of them are dudes.
So,
especially the ones that you can think of off the top of your head. Wolfgang Puck. That's the only one I know.
so you're trying to explain to me that unless I'm dependent on a woman to feed and clothe me, then I'm not a man.
Yeah.
I suggest you rethink your position.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't happen very often, but when my mom got selected for grand jury duty and got involved in a case that took her over a year to adjudicate, and she was going up to Coeur d'Alene either every Thursday, so at least 3 Thursdays a month. My dad, and she'd go up on Thursday and she'd come home on Saturday night, so she'd be gone for several meals. My dad cannot cook to save his life. My dad went hungry.
Sandwich guy?
Yeah, my dad, or worse. He we famously tease him for when my mom met him. The only thing that he had in his cabinet was rancid green beans and oatmeal, and he was eating them together. He just opened them up, didn't even bother to check to see if they're bad. Made him some oatmeal that was almost the consistency of paste. Threw it in.
That sounds horrible.
Threw some green beans in there, mixed it all together, and ate it. He's like, "I need fuel for my body. Don't care."
Good Lord.
So
See, when I first met my wife, I asked her, I said, "So you want to come by and have dinner this evening?" And she goes, she's kind of suspicious. She's going, "What are you making?" You know. I said, "Well, I'm going to have cordon bleu and some scalloped potatoes."
Yeah.
You know, and some type of vegetable. I haven't decided yet. And eyes wide open.
Yeah.
And she came over and went, "Yeah, this rocks, man. Yeah. This is what you eat all the time." Well, yeah, I eat what I want. So you cook regularly? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't allow the restaurants to cook for me all the time.
Look at me. Do I look like I'm a starving man?
Yeah, I wasn't as good as a cook as I'm not the world's best cook, but I can put together a meal or two. But when I first got together with my wife, I was cooking a lot of my own meals at home. Granted, it was a lot of Hamburger Helper and spaghetti and stuff like that. But I was going to the store, gathering groceries, bringing them home, and I wasn't just relying on McDonald's and Arby's, which were I had to drive by McDonald's and Arby's and Skippers to get to my house. So I wasn't just relying on McDonald's, Arby's, and Skippers to feed me because they were right there, bro.
Well, here's one of the surprises is in today's day and age, there's probably not a recipe that exists that isn't accessible within 2 minutes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's entire websites. Thanks, buddy. There's entire websites that's all that they do is they post and repost recipes that people have submitted.
I would suggest to you that in 30 minutes, you could plan a week's meal and set up a grocery shopping list for everything you needed in 30 minutes. Probably all on...
by touching your screen.
And spend probably 15 minutes in the supermarket and be done.
And not only could you do that, but you could probably go on there and find somebody that is either studied nutrition, is an actual nutritionist, and says these are the things you should probably be eating. These are the things your body needs to be healthy. You could probably put together yourself a list of things that are actually really good for you in about 15 to 20 minutes.
See, but I don't think that takes a nutritionist. I think that's common sense.
I think so too. But if you're of the mind that I need this to be approved by a specialist or somebody that knows what they're doing, well, you can do that too.
Firstly, it's like the government, the food pyramid, right?
Yeah, that turns out that was wrong.
Totally. That's not about eating well. That's about
eating the subsidized things that the government subsidizes.
Buying these products that need to be purchased, and probably not what's good for you, but how much will your body tolerate. Is probably more realistic.
I think you're probably right. That food pyramid was...
Man, raw green vegetables, very little meat. You know what I mean? Stay the hell away from the dairy.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever taken the time to see what they put in these cows?
I don't.
When I was driving truck, we used to go to a place I don't want to get sued for saying, and it was a meat packing plant. It was one of the most hideous things I'd ever seen in my life.
Probably churned your stomach, huh?
Dude, they're running cattle in there to be slaughtered, and now mind you, the cattle behind the one going in is seeing what's happening.
It knows what's happening,
and it knows, and and you're going, oh my god.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And out in this feedlot, which is the filthiest, most disgusting place you can smell. You think, oh, that smells.
Oh man,
I got nothing against the feedlot.
Is there one near the Tri-Cities over there? Because there's something over there that reeks really bad.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. The one I used to go to is down by Boise.
Ugh.
Anyways,
gives you the shivers when you go by it.
They literally inject these cattle with acid probably about 2 to 3 days before they're slaughtered, and what that does is it makes all of their tissue swell. Well, when it swells, how does it swell? It absorbs water.
So it's heavier.
So and they're given all the water they want to drink. So the things just sitting there drinking water and swelling up. You've seen these things, man. They're like blimps.
Yeah.
Right? And because they sell this stuff by the pound. Right? Well, they don't want them dying while they're out there feeding either, right? So antibiotics, boom, man.
Whether they need it or not, right?
Growth hormones, boom, man.
Yeah.
And do you think for 1 second that you're not ingesting that into your...
Well,
do you think it gets magically removed from the meat?
Of course not. Just look at the shift from everybody's so GD busy to where they're like, well, we'll just solve this by going through the McDonald's drive-thru, and then we'll just McDonald's, and or fast food. It doesn't, not just McDonald's. I don't want to pick on just one place that's really easy to pick on, but So I have a brother-in-law. He's only 12. His mom doesn't really feel like cooking anymore, so he eats quite a bit of
fast food,
either processed food or fast food. Like you can't get him to eat a balanced meal. He'll eat French fries and he'll eat hamburgers and stuff like that. And he's on a pretty steady diet of fast food. It's that's just the way it is. He is probably 1/3 taller and just in general bigger boned than everyone else in his class.
Probably the crap that he's ingesting.
And I don't want to just pick on my brother-in-law. I mean, just in general, you can see the trend, the uptick of people eating on the go. Whenever fast food became something that you did to replace your meal regularly, not like it's Friday evening,
emergency
it's payday.
Stop,
It's Friday evening, it's payday, let's go take the family out for a treat for the week. Whereas people are stopping in there and replacing full meals with this. We are just bigger people. We're bigger. we're bigger boned. We're bigger. Bigger boned is a misnomer, but we're just generally bigger. We're bigger people. We're not slight by any means.
Please don't take this the wrong way. This is just something that occurred, and when we were probably about somewhere between the age of 25 and 28, I can remember me and my buddy were driving by this school, and it was a grammar school, and probably like the 3rd and 4th and 5th grade girls had breasts.
Right.
And we're going, man,
that's not natural.
When I was growing up, they didn't have what's going on.
Yeah, 7th grade. It was about 7th grade before they started getting training bras.
Yeah. And
little boys too, having little man titties.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, you follow it back and go, well, why is that? Hormones.
Sure. They're getting things that aren't supposed.
Growth hormone.
And not to mention, so 2nd and 3rd graders are developing breasts, and that's not natural. And then most girls don't get their first period until 14 or so. And girls are starting to get their period, and they're like 9 and 10 years old now. Just everything's starting to go backwards because we're giving ourselves hormones that aren't naturally introduced by our bodies yet.
They give hormones to cattle to make them produce milk.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. Come on, man. Really? And the funny part is they don't even really try to hide it, and people just they don't want to look.
Yep. Turn your back to it
because it tastes good.
Yeah. So I've almost as much as I can, if I ingest red meat, there's about 2 or 3 different times a month, I'm just like, I have got to have a hamburger. I have to have a hamburger. It's un-American to not have a hamburger at some point.
I normally make my own hamburger.
So, but if I do go get one, I try to get like the one that has the least amount of meat on it, or I'll try to get something that's like a chicken burger or something like that. But every once in a while, I'm just like, no, darn it, I have to have a hamburger. So I'll go get a hamburger. So I go and have a hamburger every once in a while, but there's in my diet that I have almost replaced the amount of red meat that I used to eat in my 20s with.
I eat very little. I used to
almost all white meat now.
Probably twice a day at least.
Yeah, I've almost replaced all of the red meat that I eat now with just chicken.
I eat red meat probably, truthfully, about once every 2 weeks, and sometimes maybe twice a week at a high.
Yeah.
Well, as far as red meat consumption, I've almost completely eliminated it.
I eat red meat at Super China on Friday, and every once in a while I have a craving for a burger.
And I get my medical care at the VA. I went in there, and from when I was ill to the present, they once a year take all my blood work, right? Mm-hmm. My triglycerides, my blood sugar, my blood pressure, everything down, way down. They used to tell me, man, you want to take an aspirin every day and stuff. Till today, they're going, I see no reason for you to, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Yeah. And what I do is I try to eat right and I exercise.
Yeah.
Down almost 15 pounds now from a month ago, because all I did was I added swinging the clubs again back into my regiment. Gonna have to buy a new belt again here pretty soon. Remember when I bought this one?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
I can literally almost wrap my hand around above where my ankle is now.
Oh, nice.
And it's surprising. It was almost like, man, it's not supposed to be like that. How can that support this belly?
Yeah, this little chicken legs.
Am I an ostrich or something?
Yeah.
What's going on here? But no, dude, you can't continue to eat shit and not expect to be that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we might have mentioned this when we got on a similar topic before. Every once in a while, you try to think of what you're going to say, and it just slips your mind.
Completely gone.
Jeez, it was right there, and then it was gone.
Well, you got Gus Hill up here, right?
I do have Gus Hill there. Yeah, I was on a track that just completely went away. So that must have been a lie. Never mind. Take it away, Mike. Save me from myself.
All right, let me. That's usually about this time of the day we start talking about clubs, arcade clubs.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I hate that when that happens.
Yeah, and you should swing clubs, man, because it's the simplest, easiest way to do this. And me and Nathan have been making these for some time. Well, as a result, we have this noteworthy people, I should add.
Ooh, there's some buns.
And,
good Lord.
In fact, I could have gone all day without looking at it.
I could have too.
No, that's different. Anyways, we'll pass it on to you when it comes. We're having a feature story written about us in our club productions in Australia. It's that far away. We've been selling them around the world via the internet, and for privacy reasons, we can't mention names.
Sure, but we have been. We made a couple of sales to the Australia area.
Yeah, there's people that you would recognize that use our product now.
We're hoping to get an endorsement from us. We're kind of hoping.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That'd be
That
sweet.
might be a little tougher to come by.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see what he thinks about them.
Yeah, we'll see where things go. And they're not buying these things just because it's a worthless item.